So we want to introduce Corinne Hunt. Karen. Sorry.
Or Karine.
Karine, yes. So she's actually the founder of Celebration Pros, and I'm going to let her do her further introduction.
So I'll get into who I am, but really today is about all of you. So we're here, we're going to be talking about branding and marketing. And so I want to start off with this riddle that we've probably all heard. If a tree falls in the forest and no one's around, does it make a sound?
Yes.
You guys, you could sit here and debate it all day long. What I really want you to do is to close your eyes right now. I want to do a little visualization. I'll make you do this. We're going to do visualizing twice today, and that's it, I promise. I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to picture yourself entering a forest. I want you to hear the leaves cracking under your feet. I want you to hear the birds chirping above you and the critters rustling around in the woods beside you. And maybe there's a babbling brook in the distance. And all of a sudden you hear like a sound. I think that's odd. And then a flock of birds fly out from a tree not too far away from you. And you notice how beautiful and rooted this tree is. And then you hear a creak and a crack. And this big, beautiful tree now falls down in front of you, in the pathway in front of you. And it hits the ground so hard that the vibration goes through your body that it makes you take a step back. And now the tree has your attention, and you're looking at this tree, and this big, beautiful, magnificent tree. I have two options. I can either take the time to climb over this tree and continue on my path, or I can take a new path. And if I so choose, I can come back in a couple of months to see what this tree has done to the earth and how it's nourished the forest floor and created new life and new spaces for the critters of the forest to live. Now open your eyes. That's an impact, right? That's an impact. This is the type of impact that your business should be making. Don't be the tree that's in the forest that nobody hears. We don't want to sit behind our businesses working so diligently on all the processes and streamlining the website and the social media and all these things. The more and more that we do that and that we don't do this, the quieter we get. The quieter we get. And so when I say is, they'll only know what you do, you tell them. You can build it, they won't come. You gotta tell them. They gotta know that you're there. And not only do they need to know that you're there, they need to know that you are there for them. You as them, that's your unicorn, right? So, for those of you who might need pens, I have some fun, colorful pens, highlighters. If everybody can take one of these sheets, because we're doing the work today, everybody.
Is there enough to go around? It looks
There's
like,
plenty. There's 30 sheets that kind of disperse them around. So one per person. There you go. Perfect. So we're going to do some work today, and the idea here is I'm hoping that when you leave, you feel more clear and confident moving forward in your branding and marketing strategies.
3 of these. I only see 3 of these.
That's okay. They're all over. There's 30 in the room. So.
There's several different ones, right?
They're all the same. They're all the same. There's ones that are words. The words are for our separate activity.
Not 100 words to describe a best friend, no?
Yeah, that's not that would just be on too. So who here is ready to be the talk of the town? To be the vendor and the creative business that's on everybody's lips. That's being referred by everybody. Right? And people are sending you those clients that you love to work with. That makes sense for your business. Not, oh, my cousin called me and wants the F&F discount. Do I get a locals discount? That's what we get down in the Keys. I live in Key Largo. So we're going to be the talk of the town. This is actually a masterclass that I put together. And I adjusted a little bit so that it's branding and marketing today, so we'll try and cover everything in our time. I also want to welcome you to Celebration Pros. I'm the CEO of Celebration Pros, and it was built because during my 7-year stint as a destination wedding planner, the last 3 years I brought on a business partner who still runs the business today. But during those 3 years, I found that my love shifted from the client to the vendor, to all of you, to my business creatives. Is there anyone here who's not in the wedding industry? I think everybody is. Okay, so I'll speak to creative entrepreneurs too. So what happened was I just wanted to pour into these small businesses, and they were coming to me. They were asking, Karen, who does your website? That I do. Can you help me with mine? Absolutely. How do you get on all the vendor lists? I said, I can show you how to do that too. And this kept going. And so then we started networking meetings because in the Keys, we didn't have anything like this. So we did, every other month, we had networking meetings. And then we did 3 boutique wedding shows that were fabulous. And then my business partner said, Karen, do we need to pivot because you're not with the clients anymore, you're with the vendors. And I said, okay, I think it's time. I'm going to retire. I just had my baby at the time. And I'm going to retire from planning, go back into corporate, hire a high-level coach, and form Celebration Pros. So what I do now is I empower creative entrepreneurs like all of you to find confidence in your business through low-cost marketing strategies and powerful connections like you have here today. Who is this crazy lady in the glittery jacket that you've never seen? Although a lot of you just recently followed me. I have 15 years of experience in the wedding industry specifically. I worked for flagship hotels, luxury boutiques, and I had my destination wedding planning business for 7 years. And so what I've done is I've pulled in my experience, and as I mentioned, I hired that high-level coach, but not only that, you see me, I often have podcasts in my ears, or audiobooks, or physical books, or webinars, and I'm just soaking up all the things to make sure that I'm bringing out relevant information, but also in a way that's distilled down that makes sense to all of you. Because a lot of times we need those we just need the kindergarten words to get through it. We don't need all the chaos and all the noise. So I try and bring it down to life. And so what I do is I combine these 2 things so that I can be your business bestie. Tara Melvin. Does anyone here know who Tara Melvin is? So she is the top wedding planner in DC. She's also the founder of the National Society for Black Wedding and Event Professionals. And she says, it's not who you know, it's who knows you. My entire life, I lived off of this. I said, oh, it's who you know. Who can connect me to the next person? Who's the next person that I can leverage to go where I want? And then she said this. I was like, oh, that little moment. Let's think of a celebrity. We'll go with Beats. So you got Justin Bieber, right? He's got his posse, his family. I think one of his songs is even talks about how lonely he is, right? And so he might have 100 people around him that are semi-close. But look at the people who know who he is, right? That's a whole nother world, and that's this world, and that's where we want to be. So on the agenda today, we're going to talk about on-brand messaging. We're going to talk about where all those unicorns are that we want to work with. We're going to talk about how to keep good company that's going to help you get to where you're going. Stepping out in front of your business is number 1. We'll use this number 1. That's number 2. Power testimonials. You're going to know some of those things. We're going to need that reminder, and then hopefully we can pull a piece out of there. And then how we can lead with value. All right, WOM. Who knows what WOM stands for? Word of mouth marketing. That's WOM. So these statistics were pulled from at the end of 2022, and 91% of conversations are taking place offline. This kind of blew my mind because we're online all the time. I mean, we're like this with our phone. It's kind of ridiculous, but it's the truth. So 91% of conversations take place offline. Did you know that our brain is looking for new information every 2 seconds? It went from when MTV came out, it was every 4 minutes. And now, because we've got things like TikTok, it's every 2 seconds we want new information. It's kind of crazy. So what happens is we're on our phone and we're like, swipe, thumbs up, little fire emoji, gotta click on the poll, gotta swipe to the next thing. We're not actually having conversations. Conversations are when we speak back and forth and we get to know each other, we can ask questions, we can value and knowledge and all those things. So when we're talking about conversations taking things offline, this actually makes a lot of sense. And then 2/3 of those conversations are resulting in a sale. That's powerful. So what does that mean? That doesn't mean if you go and talk to 91 people that 2/3 of them are going to buy from you. What that means is that 2/3 of the conversations that you're having, we're all referring something. I like Mexican food. Does anyone know a good Mexican restaurant? Yeah. Okay, we're going to do it. And we're going to go there and they're going to get that sale, right? It was that easy, that quick. Word of mouth, this is my favorite. Word of mouth has a starting cost of $0. That means you don't have to pay for the Facebook ads, right? So this is really important. Now you can. I'm not against paid marketing if it works. Okay, so now this is number 2 visualization. Robert is only 2. So everyone can again close your eyes. Close your eyes, and I want you to go back in time. Go like way back in time. Like maybe you're like 7 years old. Pretty far back, right? And I want you to just kind of think about your life from then until now. And somewhere in between there, you had a moment where you were your absolute best self. So far, anyways. I want you to think of whatever that was. Maybe you had a child. Maybe it was the day you quit your corporate job and you just ran out screaming. Maybe it was the day you graduated. Or maybe it was something that you helped somebody else accomplish and just filled your heart. So everybody hold that moment in your mind. You good? Everybody got something? Okay, now I want you to envision 5 words. You can open your eyes now. I want you to think of 5 words that wrap you around in that moment. So what are 5 adjectives that can describe how you feel, what the emotion was in that moment? Now this is where these 100 words to describe a best friend. So if you're having a hard time with those adjectives, go ahead and pull one of these sheets. But on the top part of your paper, you're going to write your best moment. If it's available to you, if it's personal and you don't want to write it, it's fine. But these papers are just for you. And then you're going to write 5 words. This is the most important thing that we're doing today. Yeah. Here, and then she'll point you once you're done with that one. While you're doing it, I'm going to share mine. So I told you I had put on 3 boutique wedding shows. We had about 30 vendors at each of our wedding shows. It was very small, intimate. It was in North Key Largo at a beautiful property. And it was everything that you would want in a wedding show. We had hors d'oeuvres, we had cocktails, we had cakes, we had a fashion show, we had a raffle, all the things, 30 vendors, 200 brides and couples coming through, and 90% of the vendors booked. I can't remember the actual percentage, but quite a few of them booked multiple. I think that's a pretty good conversion rate. 90%, so that means only 3 people didn't book a wedding. I can tell you exactly who they were because they were sitting down in a chair behind their booth and they were a little timid to step out and talk to anybody, which is okay. We all have that point in our business where we have to gain that courage to speak up and speak out. So that was my shining moment because at the end, everybody was so grateful that we put on this show. I only made $1,000. Let me tell you, the work I put into that, ooh, it's a lot more than that. So, but to know that I was able to make an impact, create a space where people could bring more economy into our community, to bring more love into our community, to bring more celebration, all those things. And so my 5 words are empower, confidence, connection, illuminate, and celebration. I don't think I repeated that. So you'll hear me say those words a lot. Are we good? Does everyone have their 5 words? Does anyone need help kind of deciding? We're good? Okay, so can I assume that these 5 words are the way that you want to feel in your business every day? That these 5 words are how you want to feel while you're working with your clients? That maybe we could even venture to say, you want your clients to feel this way? I want my clients to feel empowered and confident and illuminated and celebrated, and I want them to feel a connection. So what you're going to do is under those, and you don't have to do this right now, but if words come to mind, go ahead in those subwords. When I talk about illumination, I'll say light up, enlighten. I'll say sparkle, on fire, right? And all of that falls under illuminate. Illuminate's my word of the year, so let's go up. So the other thing that happens here is any decision that you make in your business, these are going to be your brand values. So you now have the foundation in just that one exercise to make any decision in your business from here on out. So for example, if a client comes to you, I actually had somebody reach out to me the other day, and she seems very professional. I'm excited to talk to her, but I just had this gut feeling. You know how you have the gut feeling sometimes, like, oh, and I was like, okay, what do I do? And I have my words, they're framed above my desk, and I said, okay, it does hit all the words, but there's still something off. So I'm scheduling a call with her just to make sure it's the right fit. I understand exactly what she's doing. But that's what you're going to do. If you're at a crossroads, you're like, do I take this client? Do I take this opportunity? Do I market with this advertising agency or whatever it might be? Go to your 5 words and say, is this in alignment with what my values are? With how I want to feel? Because if it's not going to be fun. If you do something that doesn't hit your words, it's not going to be fun. There's going to be something that's going to be off the whole time. So that is the 5 words. That's going to be, we're going to be talking about those as we kind of go through. Okay, so I know we did this earlier, but we're going to do this again. So I'm just going to go, what do you do? Okay, and what do you do? Tiger. And I think I know what you do. Clear. Okay, I was like, okay, those are all very valid answers. They're also all very boring. Sorry. Don't mean to turn you down, but I'm going to help you make that a lot more fun. So here it is what an I help statement is. Anybody have heard of an I help statement? So yeah, she's on top of it over here. Okay. So if you remember at the beginning, I said I empower creative entrepreneurs to find confidence in their business through low cost marketing strategy and powerful connections. Right? I say that often, I say it all the time. Anytime somebody asks me what I'm doing, I give them some form of that because that's exactly what I do. I don't just do marketing, I do low cost marketing. So if you want to come to me and ask me about ads on Instagram, which I mentioned before, I don't know a whole lot about that. I'm not your girl. But if you're looking to grow your business in a way that's not going to cost you a whole lot, hey, I'm here with you all day. So that's how I do it. So that's just an example. But what you're going to do, this is going to be the basic, and then you're going to pull those value words. So you're going to say, I help. Who do you help? Because I know you're not in the value industry. I'm putting you on the spot. Who's your client?
This is a very tough
Yeah? What do you do right now?
I'm a poet, meditation, and yoga teacher.
Okay.
So people who are seeking inner freedom.
Yes. Oh, write that down. That's good. I help people who are seeking inner freedom. We're going to get her down just a minute. I like it. And then what are they looking to accomplish? What result are they looking for? How do you feel as a way?
Relief,
Okay.
balance, joy.
Okay. So write that. To feel relief, balance, and joy. And then what do you do specifically to bring them this result? What's your service? The power of words, right? You have poetry.
I use the power of words and memory to remind them of these things they desire and move their minds and bodies.
Okay. So could it be by improving wellness through the power of words and movement? Something to that effect? Right? Do you see what we just did there? That's a lot more interesting. So when you go into a room like this, and somebody asks you what do you do, and instead of saying I'm a poet, you say, go ahead and read it out loud.
Like,
That's okay.
I help people who are seeking inner freedom to feel relief, balance, and joy by
That's okay.
by moving their minds and by moving their minds to inner wellness with words and physical.
It's beautiful. I have a lot of questions for you. Now I want to get to know what's your Instagram account. Let's connect because I need that actually, right? So that's going to differentiate you. Nobody else in the room is going to say that. So when you do it, and I'll come back over to the wedding route. So I help couples, right? We all help couples. So but instead, what if we say I help South Miami couples, or I help destination couples, or I help same-sex couples? What kind of couples do you work with? I help the luxury couples. I help the DIY bracket. Who is it that you actually help? Let's differentiate a little bit. Let's niche down. It doesn't mean that you're not going to take certain business that makes sense, but if that's who you want to work with, let's start talking to those people. And then, what's the result that you want to show them? And then how are you going to give them that result? And now when you go to the crazy wedding pro meeting that didn't seem to be very organized, which is totally okay. Now when you go there and you're able to present who you are and what you do, it's going to be a lot more interesting. It's going to bring up conversation, and people are going to remember who you are, right? Here's a quick tip. This is going to go in your Instagram bio. This is going to go at the top of your website. Everybody needs to know what it is you do specifically. It's not enough to say, I'm a South Florida wedding photographer. And unfortunately, everybody seems to be. We want to know this. Why am I hiring you? Because you're going to give me this. Okay, does that make sense? Does that feel good? I'm going to be hanging out afterwards, so if you want me to help you work through any of the words or any of the things. And this is very basic. So then what you're going to do is after you write it out in the basic way, pull some of your value words in. So if you notice for me, I'm actually adjusting mine so that it's to create a business worth celebrating. So I really want to put celebration. I already used the word power. So those are just some ideas. Okay, then we want to be where they are. So this one I'm going to go through pretty quickly. I think a lot of us probably know this information, but it's always a good reminder. We're always trying to be everywhere that society is telling us to be. So we're on TikTok, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, Pinterest, all the directories, all of them, magazines, local newspapers, blogs, all the things. We're doing all the things, right? But that's not where all of our people are. Lamborghini specifically doesn't have TV commercials because they say their clients don't watch television. And I guarantee you will not see a Cheeto ad in Success Magazine, right? So we want to think, where are our clients? And when we're doing that, it's important to say, well, what are our financial goals? And that's really going to help us decide a big characteristic of our clients. Do you want to work with the DIY bride? And I know this isn't going with Prius, but hopefully you can follow me here. So do you want to work with the DIY bride, or do you want to work with ultra luxury over at Mar-a-Lago? Right? Where are you on the scale? Maybe you're somewhere in between, and that's okay. But if you're DIY, we're not looking at luxury magazines. And if you're ultra luxury, you're not focusing all your time and effort on Facebook. So I hope that gives you a good idea. I have a LinkedIn account, and that's where a lot of the vendors are. But I like to talk to my vendors on Facebook and Instagram. I have my Facebook group. I talk to you over Instagram and email marketing, and then in person. That's where I gain the most feedback. And if you're not sure, go back, look at your data, and see where are your clients coming from. So go back, write down where you're visible now, and then say, okay, I'm going to have to go back and see where are my clients coming from. Nobody's come to me from Instagram and forever. I'm going to start slowing down my posts. We're just going to do 2 a week. Right? Okay. Does that all make sense? Is that good? Is anybody having like aha moments? You need a couple light bulbs? Okay, cool. All right, so next we're going to fill your calendar. Because what have we done today? We know who we are. We know what we stand for. We know what we're actually going to say when we meet the first person, right? And we know where our clients are. So we're going to fill our calendar so that we can start speaking to them directly. The first thing we're going to do is meet and greet. So on your form, there's 3 boxes, and there's black lines above them. And what I want you to do, okay, so for example, since you're a photographer, if you're a photographer, you're probably going to want to meet with venues, planners, and florists. So put 3 business types there. What was your business?
Real estate photo and video.
Real estate. What did you do? Real estate photo and video.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, oh, maybe photo and video. So with real estate photo and videos, you probably want to talk to realtors, right? Maybe investors, yeah. Maybe actual apartment buildings or something like that. You have building a so you're going to write those 3 down. And then in the boxes, I want you to actually write the names of businesses that you've been hoping to connect with because they're in alignment with your vision. So what planners do you want to connect with? What florists might you want to connect with? I always do this exercise, and I'm like, oh man, I've been meaning to reach out to that person. I haven't done it. They're business names. This is for you. So, what's the box that you have? Venues. Okay, so you're going to write the names of the venues. in the box that you want to connect to. And then what you're going to do from here is in that fill your calendar box, you're going to, at the very top, you're going to write schedule meet and greets. Because the first thing that you're going to do when you get home, is you're going to put on your to-do list tomorrow, I'm going to schedule these meet and greets. And you're going to reach out. You can even do an email template. Hey, it's Karen. I've been meaning to get in touch with you. I'm a local photographer, wedding planner, real estate agent, and I was a real estate photographer, and I really am meaning to reach out to you. I've been following you for a long time, and I'm hoping that we can connect. You have 15 minutes to schedule a call. Take that, copy paste, copy paste, copy paste. It's your words. Just copy paste it and send it to all those people. That's what I want you to do tomorrow. That's your homework for your homework. And then here, I just want you to pick two because this is a live. We don't want to do all the things or I'm going to make you crazy. But these are other ways that you can actually start getting the word out for yourself. So remember, there's word of mouth. And until you actually start telling them, they're not going to know what to tell other people about you. So what's really cool is when you start using these brand words and you start reaching out, and I can share these slides too if anyone wants them. When you start putting the word out into these different types of media, people start talking about you in those words. I'm going to show you an example of that in just a minute. Next to word of mouth marketing, email marketing, newsletters. Who here has a newsletter? Anybody? Does anybody have a newsletter?
A long time ago.
Email is number 2. Yep. Email lists are the number 2 conversion rate for sales.
Wow.
Yep. Because people opt in. You all might receive an email from me. You can unsubscribe. The option is there. But what I do is, on the first day of the week, you get to see what my podcast episode is. And if you like following me, you're going to be excited to hear what the next topic's going to be, who the next interview is going to be. And then I post the hot topic of the week. I just posted all the bridal looks from the Met Gala. That was the most opened. Everybody wanted to see it. They were all so excited. One of my favorite was like this gentleman who was wearing a white tux. And he just had this like long train of like white floral. Oh, it's gorgeous. But yeah, I mean, it's so much fun. And then my last one, I say, here's a way that we can connect if you're having a hard time with your marketing. And so it's just dripping on people because the more that you're in front of somebody, what did you say earlier? TOM, top of mind, right?
Yes.
If you're the first person that comes to mind, guess who the first phone call is going to be to? Or the first person that you're going to refer. If somebody says, oh, I'm looking for a florist, right? So these are different ways. So podcasts, you don't have to open a podcast. That is a beast. If you're interested, feel free to reach out and play out of your mind. But you could just be a podcast guest. So go on to Apple Podcasts, look up your industry episodes, and see who might be interested in having you on to share your expertise, because then what happens? You're in front of their audience. You know, you're not even having to grow yours. You're in front of 500 people who are listening to that episode. That's really cool. And it's a fun conversation. You're connecting. Free publications. Does anybody know what Haro is? It's okay, I didn't know. Helping our reporter out. Just let me know if I'm going anywhere on time.
No, you're
Okay, good. Just making sure. So helping a reporter out. So if you go to Haro.com and you sign up, it's free. They're going to send you 3 emails a day. And each email is going to have about 100 topics, which I know is kind of crazy. I do this once a week where I go through whatever email I choose, find a topic, and then I reply to that reporter and I say, this is a topic I'm interested in responding to. Here's my response. And then they may or may not get back to me choosing me as their person. But I've done this probably a total of 10 times. And now I've been featured in Homes and Gardens and Authority Magazine. Is it via Voyage Miami, via Miami? They just reached out to me today. And Authority Magazine came back asking me to do more articles for them. I just got a free, published, like done. Like, okay, take an hour to do that. And then all of a sudden you go on my Instagram, look, Karen's got press. She's got credibility, she's got authority. That's amazing, right? And it's such an easy way to do. Now, in the wedding world, we have Style Me Pretty, Green Wedding Shoes, Glittery Bride, Google wedding blogs, right? And then submit that you want to be a part of it. You should also be doing your own blog posts. That's a whole other conversation. But if you're not doing it, you should. It's great for SEO. Pinterest is an SEO search engine platform. It's a great way to repurpose. I also teach repurposing content. Social media collabs. Find somebody in here who wants to do a social media live with you. Because what happens again? Now you're getting in front of each other's audiences. So even if you don't end up working together, you probably will. So far I like all of you. I will work with any of you. But if you get together in that room, now you have multiple audiences. And I think you can do up to 4 people in a collab on Instagram or Facebook. Wedding expos. Now this doesn't have to be wedding. I know this is in here, this is my background. But this could be, I'm actually going to an art gallery tomorrow because I know there's creative entrepreneurs there. What is it? Yeah, you can come with me. I need a friend. It's in the Keys though, it's a bit of a trek. So, yeah, I'm going to an art gallery. Which is your arm, you want to come down? You could go to a farmer's market if that makes sense. You could go to an art fair. And then when it comes to the wedding shows, absolutely go to the wedding shows, right? Because that's where everybody is, all the people that you want to meet. But again, make sure it's in alignment. If you're going, decide, am I going to make connections or am I going to book brides? And are the brides I'm booking there? Because you know that there's a whole slew of different levels of wedding expos. So make sure that you're investing your money wisely. Hired events, these are the ones that you're actually hired to go to be at. You're booked or you're volunteering, and there's a point where you've been hired or booked or decided to be a part of this event, to the event. There's so many opportunities that I missed. I look back at my business and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so much more we could have done to connect with people. I never connected with the vendors. I mean, I did, but not in a way that was like, let's collaborate, let's work together. It was more like, here's the timeline, let me know if you see any issues with it. And there could have been so much more. I could have invited everybody out for lunch and we all could have had a great time. And then on wedding day, we all could have been hugging and whatnot, and then referring each other and having good times, right? And we never do that. So think about how you can leverage your hired events in ways that you're not yet doing so. Industry events, congratulations, you're out. Philanthropic events. I just recently went to, does anybody, okay, don't shame me for this one. Does anybody know Haley Page? Haley Page, wedding dress designer. Okay, if you don't know her story, write her name down, look her up. Haley Page, very important story for our industry. She's no longer Haley Page, and you'll learn that by learning her story. Her name is now Cheval. She's a shoe designer. She has gorgeous shoes. I almost wore them today, but I was like, oh, I'm wearing these, and I'm not going to kid myself. My heels sticking up here. So she's absolutely incredible, and she has a Girl You Might Know Foundation. She had to change her name, that part of her foundation. I went to the Colony in West Palm to go to one of her events. Got to meet her personally. I didn't know she was going to be there, to be honest. Got to meet her personally. Little did I know there was a dress trunk show next door. So the whole place was filled with wedding planners. I had so many connections. I met Cheval herself, who was Haley Page. And now she's going to be a speaker on my live panel for my quarter 2. And I'm getting goosebumps just from that, and it never would have happened. I'm so fangirl over this. But I have goosebumps because it wouldn't have happened had I not gone. And I went with a friend, and I don't want to say she ditched me because she knew what my purpose was there, and she was like, I'm good, you do your thing. But she left, and I had to make connection by myself, and I did. And I bought fabulous shoes, and now she's going to be on the podcast, and she's going to be part of my quarter 2 panel. It's incredible. I'm so excited. And I have another big name coming up. I just have to say about it, so I can't wait to be able to share that. But this is what you can get from doing this stuff. Associations, and then places and circles. Places and circles is really fun. Whenever you go somewhere, it's really fun. Like if anybody does want to get dinner afterwards, I would love to just sit and chat with you all. Like I'm totally down for that. I warned my husband I'll be home late, so it's okay. But you know, when I go up to West Palm, I reach out to my West Palm planners and I'm like, hey girls, you want to all get together? And then there's a spot locally where like everybody after work, all the small businesses get together at this one place called CNC. They have great wine, great pizza, and they all go there. It's an awesome happy hour, and I get to rub shoulders with people in my community because I know that's where they go. So places and circles are really fun because it's like it's an informal way to go about it. So pick two. Don't pick all of them. Just pick 2. You'll get to all of them eventually. Then we want to keep good company because now we're going to events. We have them on our calendar. Now we're like, okay, well, my friend, you know, they're not. They don't really want to go with me, so I'm going to go to our gallery tomorrow. I don't want to go alone. I don't know who to talk to or any of that. So it's nice to have good company. To have like a circle of friends that you can call on. Mine's usually my mom. She's like my best friend, my biggest fan. I'm like, hey mom, you want to go to our gallery? She said yes. So think about Jim Rohn. He was a motivational speaker and an entrepreneur, big time. And he says, you are the sum total of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Who's heard this before? Yeah, it's a popular one. But the key is who you spend the most time with. This isn't your favorites in your phone or when you do the @ symbol, those top 5 people that come up. It's not those people. It's the people that you spend the most time with. Mine is my husband, my 3-year-old, my mom, my accountability partner, and then Jasmine Starr's podcast. Right? So I make sure that all 5 of those people, that they know what my goals are in life, that they know where I'm headed, because that's the number 1 question. Do they actually know what you're doing and where you want to go and what your big vision is? Do you know? That's a whole different. Good. But if once you let them know, then you have to decide, are they adding value to this goal? Are they helping push you forward? Are they running beside you, cheerleading you on? Or are they holding you back? Or they're not really, contributing to the goal? And I'm not telling you to cut anybody out of your life. I'm just telling you to shift your time. Start spending time with people like those who are in this room, who are going to help you get to where you want to go, who are growth-minded. And if you're not sure, start with podcasts. Start with podcasts, because there are so many, and if you're not sure which podcast, Jasmine Starr, she's amazing. I love her. If I could get her on the panel, whew, that'd be amazing. Okay. Let's see, where are we at? We're okay. Yeah, okay. Limiting beliefs. This was just really fun and I wanted to do it, but I was thinking about cutting it out. So I didn't make this up. I was scrolling like we do. And there was this motivational speaker and I continued to scroll before I got his name. So if you happen to know the person, let me know. Okay, so let's see. What was your name again?
Carmen.
Carmen. And I love that you're a florist and you're wearing like this beautiful, it's gorgeous.
Thank you.
Okay, now I'm not going to go pink hair because you have like reddish hair. We're going to go blue hair today. Okay? Okay. So if somebody came up to you and they said, I hate your blue hair. You have the most offensive blue hair. It's so unprofessional. I would never want to work with you. I can't believe that you have blue hair. What would you think?
That's okay. Find somebody else who does.
I love it. It's like, that's weird. You're colorblind, right? I clearly don't have blue hair. That's strange. Yeah, that's perfect. That is the perfect response. Now, what if we apply that response to everything that we do in business? So going back to that 90% of vendors who got business at my bridal show, the 3 who didn't, well, they were the loudest. Oh, you didn't charge enough. You charged too much. We didn't like where we were located. We don't think you should do it in the same place every year. We don't think you should do it at this time of year. We think that you should have less of this type of vendor, and we should have more time, or we should have less time. And nobody really had the answer. And I said, that is all great. Because when I looked back at it, I said, I'll go ahead and I'll look at the data, and I will definitely, apply what you're saying. It's, they're valid thoughts. It's totally cool. But in the end, I had 90% success rate. That's still an A in class, right? That's still an A in class. I'm still calling it a win. It's still my best moment ever. And I'm going to say, okay, let me take those 5 words, go back to the 5 words. Did I apply my values to the situation? Remember, I did. That's where I pull it from, right? I empowered. There was confidence. There was illumination, celebration, connection. All that was there. So I removed the feelings. I mean, I take a minute and be like, oh, maybe that stung a little. I don't have blue hair, but I feel bad for the blue hair people out there. So take a moment. You can feel it. It's fine. But then remove the feelings and look at the facts. And say, what was the real situation here? Now again, remember, I know who those 3 people are, and I know exactly how they contributed to the event, and I know exactly why. And then I offered, and really what I could have done, because I am who I am now, is done a coaching session on how to make the most out of the expo. But this is how we should apply. Oh boy. Is that right? I don't think that's mine. Okay. So, we didn't say my name this time. So, basically what I want you to do is remove the feelings, look at the facts, and decide if you're going to say, well, that's weird, you're clearly not for me. And if you need to respond to a review, just respond with the facts. You don't have to get all wrapped up in it. You can even have your assistant write the response if you feel like you're a little too angry about it. But try and focus on the facts and just make sure everything's in alignment. Now, if it's not in alignment, maybe there is something that needs to be pivoted or adjusted. And that's okay too. We all make mistakes. I'm gonna dye my hair pink one day, probably soon. All right, so now we have all this, and the reason why I was talking about limiting beliefs, because I know it doesn't always seem to apply to branding and marketing, but it really does, because we need to break through those. So what I say is every limiting belief you have, it's creating a pane glass above your head. And all those beliefs are just limiting beliefs. They're all just stacking, one after another above your head. And then what does that create? That's your glass ceiling. That's your glass ceiling. What's above your glass ceiling? Your version of success. All your success, your goals, your big vision, all of that is up there, and you're down here. And your limiting beliefs, you're looking through them, but you're never going to get through them unless you actually bust through. So the reason why I give you a little bit of mindset coaching is that you can start busting through that glass ceiling, letting it all fall to the floor so that you can create that space for success to come to you. Now, stepping out with confidence. These are a few ways that when you go to a networking event that you can create conversation. The first one is the old friend smile. As soon as I saw AJ, because I've known AJ for years, it's like, oh, hey AJ, right? Yeah. And when we look around the room, and I was, where is she? I saw Maria, and I said, I know you. I know we've worked together, right? And I lit up, right? Well, do that for the people that you want to connect with. How cool would that be? I was like, I've been following you, and I just want to talk to you about like how you can collaborate or contribute to, right? And then that gets people not only excited about that interaction, now they're like, oh, who is this person with this energy? And now people just kind of gravitate towards that positive energy. So the old friend smile is a really great way to start, and smiles are contagious, right? So no matter, you're not going to like go wrong with that. What is that? What is that glittery jacket across the room? I know that's Karen. I know somebody that needs to work with Karen. I'm going to go talk to her, right? So what is going to be your statement piece? Maybe it's your red pants. I like your red. You know, what could it be that you wear? You know, I mentioned your flowers. Maybe you always wear flowers, and that's your thing, which could be, you know, that's awesome. It goes very well with your niche. But what is that? And not only for yourself, because it helps people start conversation. You can come up to me. I have a whole story about this duster right here. There's a reason I wear it. But also for you to look around the room and say, who can I comment on so that I can get into the conversation? Because sometimes you walk in the room and you're like, okay, who do I know? Where's my safe space? I'm going to grab a cocktail and just sit over here so nobody gets me. We don't want that. We're here for a reason. Then we have our I help statement. We talked about how powerful that is. And then we're going to just be a bunch of parrots. So this one's kind of fun because it's like, it's those one-word answers. So when I went around the room and said, what do you do? And I got the one-word answers. And then you can say, oh, you're a photographer. Yeah, where are you photographed? And then you're going to say, oh, I photographed at XYZ. And I'm going to say, oh, yeah, are you there often? Do you go other places? Right? And so you just repeat what they say. And then maybe ask a question right after it. And that just makes it really easy. And eventually that person's going to open up and start talking more about things. Or if they're having a really bad day, they might just say, like, I'm gonna exit. But it's another technique that you can use. And then the last one is lead with service. And I'm going to explain some ways that you can lead with service, some free value that you can give to offer while you're in conversation with people. All of these are different of this 92 ways. I can never remember the whole thing. For big success in relationships. So here are some things that you can do to create value. And all of these, for the most part, you can bring up in conversation. Now, how many of us have a complimentary 15-minute consultation as part of what we do? Everybody, right? Do you advertise that on your website? Do you advertise that? Because what happens when you go to a restaurant and the waiter comes over and says, compliments of the chef. He drops like a little kosher dessert or something. You're like, oh, we're special. You must like us. Isn't cute? Right? And that's what complimentary does. It says there's value in this 15-minute call. So on your website, why not put complimentary 15-minute call, schedule yours here, and then have it linked out to Calendly. You don't know what Calendly is, it is your saving grace for scheduling. But this is also something you can bring up in conversation. Like, hey, I've got to run, but I would really like to schedule a call with you. I'm actually offering complimentary 15-minute calls. Can I get your information and I'll send you the link to schedule it? That's a really easy way to verbalize that, right? Questionnaire quiz. I have a really fun quiz on identifying who you have in your life for relationships. right? We all know the personality quizzes where it's like Enneagram. I've recently been in Human Design. Who's your favorite like Disney princess or villain or whatever, right? So maybe there's a quiz that you can come up with. And I have one that's a personality quiz for people around you. Sample vendor list. Don't give it all away. Yeah.
Sorry, the question.
Yeah.
Why 15 minutes? Why not 30? Any particular reason?
Totally up to you. I would say call it a 15-minute call. If it goes well, let it run over. It's more of a boundaries thing to let them know, like, I respect my time and your time. 15 minutes. It's nice and quick. If you say 30 minutes, they might not want to give you 30 minutes of their time. So I would say 15 minutes is kind of a nice sweet spot. And then if it's going well, don't be like, oh, time's up, gotta go.
Because
Yeah.
I do a phone consultation with
Mhm.
couples, and I don't give it a time. I do it based on my convenience as well as how it falls in.
Yeah.
Right, so like today I had one, and you never know how the call's gonna go.
Right.
I'll end up talking to a guy for 40 minutes.
Mhm.
I'm sure that's gonna be a little.
So, have you ever had a call where you have someone on the line, you know they're not the right fit, but they won't get off the phone?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm so sorry, I've only scheduled 15 minutes for our call today. Is there another way that I can contact you with confirmation? That's fine. So that they respect your time. It's going really well, let it go. So that's why I suggest it. It's your business. If you don't want to put any time at all, just complimentary consultation, that's awesome too. But I do it for boundary reasons. Same thing for the vendor list, I don't give it all away. I just put, some of my favorite well-known vendors on the list, and I say, here's a list of vendors that I work with. This is the sample list. We'll do the full list in the book. I don't even like vendor lists, to be honest, because there's so many of you that are talented. But I usually say, tell me what your preferences are, what your budget is, what your style is, and I'm going to match you with the best person. And I'm very options. So, but they always want a vendor list, so I like having a sample. All right, these are going to be like tips that you have, how to find, create, ask, fill in with link. Pro tips, 5 ways to XYZ. Blog on your craft. That's not how you spell yours. That's okay. And then sharing behind the scenes. This is one of my favorites, and it's not something that you do in person. But have you ever everyone books us. So maybe there's somebody that you booked in your life. Like maybe you had a birthday and you booked somebody for a cake for a birthday. And then you saw on their Instagram that they're working on a cake behind the scenes. Like you have a cake coming up and it gets you really excited to see them building that cake and in action and that they're in business and all these things. Right? So people like to see that, especially our couples and our clients. They like to see us working behind the scenes because it gets their brain thinking that we're working on their stuff too. So tag your clients when you're doing that too. So that is different ways to create value. I mean, there's a million and one, but those are just a few to wrap your brain. Leveraging testimonials. So when we were talking about those 5 value words, the very first person that I worked with, we were sitting in a burger joint in the corner. She was my very first case study client. We're hanging out. We're getting really excited about her business, and she turns to me. She goes, "Karen, you're so good at this. You empowered me to start." And I was like, "Oh, girl, you just used my word. You used empower, yes." And it felt so good to hear her speak it back to me. And then again here, Karen showed me new ways of approaching business, hitting milestones I only dreamed of, and giving me the tools and confidence to burst through my ceiling. Because that's what I speak. I speak about busting through that glass ceiling, and she said it twice. There's more of this, and she said it twice. So leveraging your testimonials is especially important when they're speaking your language. And I actually had a client recently, I did her branding, and when we went through the 5 words, she goes, "Karen, you won't believe this. I just asked feedback from my clients, and they all used the words I just chose." And I was like, that is amazing. Because those are the people that you want to work with, that vibe with you, that have that same energy. Let's see.
I'm
Yeah.
asking about testimonials.
Sure.
Is it necessary to include their names? Or?
Sometimes I'll put Kaylee A. So it just depends. Or you could even you could go anonymous. You could even get cute with it, like a happy healed client, So just to make it feel a little more personal, if it's going to be more anonymous. So you don't have to. I do because you know, they let me do. So client journey. These are ways to obtain testimonials, giving them illuminating moments on the down. So what happens? You get a client, right? You have a conversation, they book with you, and maybe there's a few things you do on the front end for planning, maybe like set up the calls that are going to happen, or the open house or whatever it's going to be, and then there's like a lull in between things. And then in the wedding world, we have like tastings and mock setups and things like that. So maybe it comes back up and then it goes back down before the wedding. And so there's these lulls. And during that time, we want to surprise and delight our clients. Send them a handwritten card saying, I'm so excited for your upcoming day or upcoming mock setup. If you're working on your design work in the background, again, behind the scenes, tag them. Get them excited, because the more, even these little things that maybe don't even cost anything, or maybe you have a phone call coming up and you send them a $5 gift card to Starbucks and say, here's some coffee for our upcoming chat. That's going to blow their mind that you even thought about that you're even thinking about them during those times where your conversations aren't as constant. So give them illuminating moments, because what's going to happen? They're going to share it on social media, they're going to tell their friends, all those things, and again, you're going to be top of mind. Let your clients speak for you. That was this example here. Swap with your vendors. If you're new or you're at a slow point in your business and you want some relevant, more current testimonials and reviews, swap. Reach out to your vendors and say, hey, I'm trying to build up my Google reviews. It's summer and it's hot and we don't have as many events going on. Do you mind swapping reviews so that we can get our SEO up together? Why not? Celebrate their words everywhere. I meant to put it on the sheet. Put your testimonials on everything you do, because your clients are speaking for you. It's so much easier for someone to say, remember at the beginning, it's the recommendations that are causing the sales, that are resulting in the sales. So you want other people speaking for you. I can sit here all day and say, book me, book me, book me. But it's a lot easier when I say, people are saying this about me. This is why you should book me, right? Request a 5-star review 1 to 2 weeks following the event. Let them cool off. Let them enjoy their honeymoon. Don't badger them for a review as they're heading off, into the moonlight. So I always say, request a 5-star review 1 to 2 weeks following, and then add a little incentive. I would say, and not bribery, it doesn't have to be crazy, but like, hey, I'm sending a special exit package for you. You can call whatever you want next week, and I was hoping that you enjoy the services and everything, that you might be willing to do a 5-star review. Here's 2 links if you'd like to do that. Ask for photo and video gallery. Now the reason I say this is because this is going to speak volumes. This is going to show the results. I remember AJ, you and I were talking about this. We're on social media. We want to show the results. We want to show the amazing dance floor and the setup and everything like that. I love when you post everybody dancing, because what does that tell me as a couple? Oh, that's going to be a party. That's going to be a party. Everyone's enjoying
Versus,
it.
no disrespect to my fellow DJs, but table decor and flowers and an empty dance floor. I don't know. That's one of my pet peeves. Like,
I don't mind
document
the
your
empty
work.
dance floor.
I really like documenting my work, and I've been doing it for years. It feels good. I like it. Social proof. 2 big words. Social proof.
Yeah, I
People
think
always
you
say
should do
people
both.
say nice things, but let's see it. Let's see it. The visual. Let me see it.
Because when
Let me
you're
hear it.
talking- yeah.
The
When you're talking
testimonials I
about a
can. I try to
dance
get
floor-
it when I can as well. Like, I just want to
Yeah.
interject for a moment. Just how was everything? I'll get them whenever it's possible, and it's not intruding on them. I'll get a little bit of video testimonial at the end. How did you enjoy everything? And that's very powerful. I think,
Video
again,
testimonials
social
are
proof. It's like,
incredibly powerful.
and I'm very big on documenting all my gigs and have been for years. And I'm resharing the memories too. I like that too as well. Like, it shows
Oh yeah, if you have posts
longevity.
that have done really well, or weddings. I have a wedding that I did at the beginning of my business. That is one of those luxury weddings that I did because it was a friend of a friend, and she pulled me in, and we were at Casa Marina down in Key West, and it was stunning. And I would pull those photos up today because they're still in alignment with what I do. Most of the other weddings I did during that time, not quite in line with what I ended up with. But if we have a beautiful wrapped dance floor with amazing lights and hanging flowers and all these things, I think it's absolutely for a DJ to say, can't wait to fill this dance floor tonight, and then later show the result.
Right.
So that's why asking for the photo and video gallery is so important, because now we have professional photos. We can choose the ones that are in alignment with our business to post on our Facebook or on our websites and all that. And then you can also pair it. So like I could have a picture of Liz here that probably would have been better instead of myself, but But then they can see, okay, this was the event that this review came from.
That's really
So there's
brilliant.
different
I'm sorry if I make that. Ask for photo video. I don't do that. And I think that's also building a rapport and shows that you care, that you love
Because then you
what
post
you're
it, you
doing, and
tag
want to
them.
have the memories as well. And you know, like that, it adds. It's an added layer of rapport with the client.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you want to take it further, did everybody enjoy tonight? Did we all get something from it?
Yeah.
Did it make sense? Awesome. Well, if you can imagine, we can take this a lot further and a lot deeper. There's so much here. And so I wanted to share with you my approach, which is champagne logic. Basically what I do is I pop the bottle off your business. I pop the bottle off your business. We get, real intimate and talk about everything, or just the topics you want to talk about. It's fine too. And I meet you where you're at. So if you're just starting out, or you just have an idea, or if you've been in the business for 10 years. So last review, she's been in the business for 10 years. She was actually my mentor when I started. So we pop the bottle on your business, then we get into the fizz of it. So it's going to be all the bubbles, all those working pieces in your business that make it run. And we see, okay, here's where you are, here's where you want to be. Why is the fizz not working? Why is it not getting you further? And then we figure out how to streamline, create strategy, so that you can start moving towards your goals. And then we clink, because that's the best part, is when you feel so good about your business, we're very clear on everything, we're confident, and we can actually step out and start reintroducing ourselves into our industries. So this is my logic behind everything. And then today I just have a special offer for you. So I offer one-on-one sessions. That's my specialty. Basically what I do, I love the 3-month intensives because that's where we really just we pop the bottle off of everything. There's a few bottles probably that we don't forget. So what we do is, in this one, it's 4 2-hour sessions, 4 months of access to me through Voxer or voice text is what that is. And then if I have 5 people tonight sign up for this, I'll also, I was actually thought of this today, I thought it'd be really fun to do a group coaching session at the end where we can all get together and talk about how far we've come and where we can go next. And then here, if we come down to this one, is the hands-on one-on-one sessions. You pick 1 to 3 topics in your business. We sit together for 2 hours, 2 weeks of that Voxer access, and a 30-minute follow-up. So these are the 2 options. Today, I've cut them in half. Why did I cut them in half? I honestly don't usually believe in discounting, but there's 3 reasons. 1, I'm really honored that you all have me here today, and I want to make sure that not just continued education, but continued growth for all of you is accessible. So I cut this in half also because it's my birthday month.
Birthday.
I'm 35
Happy
now.
birthday.
I don't know what that means, but it feels really good. And I'm a part of, I don't know if you know who Kathy Heller is. She's super woo and all the things, but she's doing Abundance Week, and I just feel like it'd be nice to share a little more. So 50% off for either of these options tonight. And now, hopefully you've been paying attention because I have quiz time. With all this information. Okay. Let me know when you're all ready. Pen and paper. Pen and paper. We're not shouting out answers because they're surprise. Okay, first question. What is the title of this workshop? It's okay, I'm not going to be offended if people don't know the answer. There's a lot of stuff. So what was the title of this workshop? Number 2, how many years have I been in the wedding industry? Ladies, you should know. Who said it's not who you know, it's who knows you? It's not who you know, it's who knows you. Who said that?
Jim Rome. Oh, sorry.
What does WOM stand for? W-O-M. What is the number 2 form of marketing? The second best way to gain revenue. What was, that was number 4 is what does WOM stand for? You want me to repeat it? Number 5 is what is the second best form of marketing? 6, your limiting beliefs create what? It was very animated, so hopefully you all get that. Number 7, where should you share your reviews? And number 8 is the last one. What is the name of my process, my approach? We good? Everyone has 8 answers? Well, I mean, like you heard all 8 answers.
What was the second question? What was the second one?
Where should you share your reviews? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do the answers. I trust that all of you will be fair and we don't have to like exchange papers. So the title of this workshop is Talk of the Town. I've been in the industry 15 years. Tara Melvin said it's not who you know, it's who knows you. WOM stands for word of mouth. I know all of you got that. The second best form of marketing is email marketing. Your limiting beliefs create a glass ceiling. You should share your reviews everywhere. And my process is, it's not wrong, but it's not everywhere. My process is champagne live. I mean, that's an approach too. Straight up champagne. Okay, so let's see. Did anybody get all 8 right? Did anybody get 7 right? Did anybody get 6? 2 people got 6? You got 6? Oh boy. I know. I'm trying to think of speed round question. Let's see, does anybody know the name of one of our Rising Tide leaders who are not present today?
Yes.
Between the 3?
I was going to say Guillermo.
Yeah.
I was also going to say Erica.
Anyways, Erica, so maybe 2. All right, rock, paper, scissors.
Your rules is rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Oh. Well, if you watch Friends, there's also a volcano. So yeah. No, it's okay. We'll do 2 rounds. Okay, so what ladies what you both won is this book, How to Talk to Anyone. So I'll hand this over to you. I'll send you. Do you like audio or physical? Okay. And then I'm also gifting the 2 of you a 30-minute one-on-one session. So I hope everyone enjoyed all of this. I'm going to be sitting around for a little bit. I've been told that we're not going to get kicked out. So we'll see. But if you wanted to work here or anything, ask me any questions. I'm here. And again, if you book tonight, it's half off just for today. Absolutely.
How many reviews can on that site?
I would say at least 1 per page. Depending on like how long the page is. Some of those pages are like the sales pages have a real one or one stream.
I was thinking like 12.
Well, you also don't want to what you're doing. Oh, we can do yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, that's a good question. Google. Yeah, okay. So we have a question. Do you have more Q&A?
George.
So George was asking, ladies and gentlemen, we wanted to do a little bit of Q&A. So just a minute. And George was asking here, how many reviews should you actually have on your website? So I say at least 1 per page. And he was like, oh, I thought we should do like 12, which is really exciting. I like that you have that many reviews. That's awesome. But we also don't want to take away from what we do. Remember, you're on help data. We want to make sure it's really easy to contact you. We do a whole thing on essentials for your website. But I would say have 1 to 2 per page, depending on how long your page is. And then like on your services page, if you have a specific review for each type of service, go ahead and put that review for each service. So you just want to be intentional about it instead of just like, reviews everywhere. That's exciting. it's gonna push you up onto, you know, in your SEO. But I can find out the answer. I have an SEO expert that I can definitely ask and get back to you. Yeah.
So you're saying, like, at least for the let's say a website, just let's say you have like 5 pages on your website, right?
Yeah.
Like home, about, services, you know, the
Yeah.
whole. So every single one, like, how do you?
Every single one should have some type of review. Now, if you have a lot of reviews, another option, you know those carousel reviews? Just do one carousel and have like 5 reviews that rotate.
Oh.
And that's a great way to use more reviews. So you have like a whole thing of like favorites. Which page should I put it on? So that's a great way to use them.
So we have a question on the Instagram.
Oh, good.
Can you can you share what is a good rate success of cold DMs or cold emails?
Ooh. Cold DMs or cold emails. Okay, so
Yeah.
the first thing I would say is social media DMs. 1% of your audience actually sees what you post. So anything you get off your DMs, you're doing good. Like, I don't know if there's actually a good conversion rate out of that, but just knowing that very few people actually see what your content is, and it's usually the same people over and over again that see it. Right. And usually it's like your mom and then like your fangirls, fan boys that are out there. So, as far as DMs go, whatever you get, take it. I don't know if there's a conversion rate. And the other one was emails.
Yeah, either emails or DMs.
The email open rate, I want to say, was 23%, and then a 3% click.
Yes.
Right now, I don't know how, mine are 50%, and then I have like about a 3% click rate. So, yeah. Anything else?
What's considered a good review batting average? In other words, reviews actually submitted to reviews requested.
I would go by what the Knot and Wedding Wire go by. I really like the way, so it's 300,000 vendors, like 250 to 300,000 vendors advertise on either the Knot or Wedding Wire. And then we offer those badges, you know, at the end of the year because of our reviews, only 5%. So out of 300,000, 15,000 get that badge. So congratulations if you've gotten.
So only like
those badges.
5% that low, like
So I would say if they want you to have 12 reviews, have at least 12 reviews. Do whatever it takes to get that badge.
No, but I mean, like, of the clients you've actually serviced, like, what's considered a good percentage of reviews back? Because there's a lot of them that, you know, it's human nature. Everybody's busy, this and that, or they forget. So what do you think is considered a good percentage of clients we've actually done that you ask for a review and actually take the time to do one?
Well, I think
But
when
100%,
we have
that's not
that,
realistic. Like, 100% of all the clients are not going to reply to
Yeah,
a
they're not all
review.
going to review.
but AJ, kind of like what she said, like maybe around 12 is like the average.
12% or no?
12 reviews. let's
12
say.
reviews.
Because they don't know how many
In a year.
How many
Yeah.
services you had offered, so the number of reviews, I don't
Yeah,
think it's really.
it could be skewed. I can find out the answer for you. I don't know
I was
off the top of my
curious,
head.
yeah.
No, that's a good question. It's a good
No, and then
question.
any ways to increase that? Like, do you ask once, ask and forget, or do you ask again in a few weeks?
The thing
a
about
month?
reviews is it doesn't need to be your sole goal in life to gain as many positive
Yeah.
reviews as possible. Right? If you have 20 5-star reviews on Google or Wedding Wire, people are going to go look and they're going to say they have 5-star reviews. And I can see everything that's going. What you want are reviews that are current. So maybe you get like 1 review a month, right? That's 12 reviews in a year. And that's fine. Then you're not like having to track down all of your clients. If you get more, amazing. It's the idea is that you want people to see that you're still doing really well in your business and that you're current. So if I go to a vendor and they haven't had a good review since last November, I'm going to wonder if they're still in business. But if I see somebody who has 1 review a month, we say they're still in business. If I see somebody that has 100 reviews, I'm going to say maybe they're overwhelmed. Now, yes, they're all good reviews, but I get a little concerned about okay, how big is the team? It just brings up a lot more questions. How big is their team? Are these reviews legit? Are they paid? You kind of have these things, right? Where you want to try and go more for authenticity, I think, than so quality over quantity. But make sure that you get that badge, I would say, is number 1, because you want to be that top 5%.
I usually try to ask for photos, they give me the review, if they can share the picture, because that way it's
I love that.
posting the picture, because, you know, in Google, they usually find me in Google.
Yeah.
So because, you know, I always ask for we have been doing fake money, so I look at the videos. And I always ask them, have you shared a picture and that way it comes from you, not me posting them, and they go, yeah, of course. Sometimes, it's hard to get them. And I'm like, you don't have to write a full statement. If you do, it'd be great.
Yeah.
But, if you were satisfied with myself, if you like how I come to ceremony, that's what I want.
I would venture to say that could be more powerful or equally as powerful as a video review. Because they're actually getting to see this is the result.
Right.
Result
Yeah,
is-
because I always
result
always
is-
like, I don't have no one or
Yeah.
anything. I'm just, give my
Well,
myself.
I'll tell you what I do. I always get pictures with my couples. I get there early, and I talk to the photographer, what the photographer is. If it's someone that's worked with me, they already know my style. If it's not, I have a little talk with them, and I explain to them, I'm going to be moving out of the way. I'm going to be very mindful of where they are so that they can get the best photos. And all I want is one photo at the end. My phone.
Yes.
And that's what I do. And then I make sure that I post it before midnight so that it's on the date of the event so that when I post that review next week or 2 weeks from now, you can go and see the photo because the review has the date that the service was provided.
Yeah.
And it also helps me to keep track. Like I can look and say, okay, who did I marry last year on this date through my memories, and it'll show me the photos I posted.
Right, yes, you get the
And
money.
then if I want to wish them a happy anniversary, I need to first make sure that they're still together. Because listen, I've been doing this a long time, and there have been times, this was years ago, I post the wedding photo on their page, say, hey, happy anniversary, and then I'll get a DM, and it's like, thank you. Like, okay, now what I do is I check their social media first. Hey, are they posting anything? Are they still friends together on social media?
Yeah.
Are there recent photos of them together so that I know it's safe? If not, if I'm really not sure, I'll send them a text first. Say, hey, happy anniversary. If I get a response back, hey, thank you, we're at dinner enjoying. All right, great. Then I know I can post it. But sometimes I've gotten texts back that say, I'll get a text back and it's not to the group thread anymore. It's
Yeah.
an individual text saying, hey, thanks, we're not together. So it's
On that
tricky.
note,
You gotta be careful though.
Oh, unfortunately. But the interesting thing I think is that you're doing research afterwards, right? So what's cool about that is if you continue to keep in contact, what happens, they're going to refer their friends. They may hire you again for a birthday party. They may hire you again for Mother's Day, right? And keep the longevity going. Yes, we might be the majority of us in the wedding space, but you have clients too. I'm sure that book you again, and you have clients that are going to refer back to you. And the more that we can continue these relationships, it creates more sustainability for us because we live in Florida and it's seasonal for most industries. So, but something that was interesting, I was thinking, was that you're doing all this research on the back end, and something that I was terrible at doing until I worked down at the luxury resort in Keys was researching my clients ahead of time.
I do that too.
We found out, we did a wedding one time, we get there, and these guys are huge. They are just like, and I'm like, and there's probably 20 of them that are there. And we're at the Confidante Miami, and we've been working with this client. They probably bought everything on the menu, and then they brought catering in. I don't know how they got around that, but they did. And we go through the entire wedding, and there were some really funny moments. And at the end, my partner and I go back to the room, and she's like, these were famous people. Like, these were just people, like, we need to look up the guest list. We look up the guest list. The groom was a scout for the NFL. Half of the NFL was at this wedding, and we were like, are you kidding me? It was crazy. There was a lot of dudes. One of them was like dressed funny, and I was like, are you sure you're part of the wedding? He was like, what's your name? Oh my gosh.